If I could go back and tell myself, I would say chill out because it's all worth it.
I definitely found a lot of comfort, help, and new friends.
This is all dramatic, I know, but this is how you know that God was in this situation.
All right, I'm Jason Wallace,
And I'm Katie.
and we want to talk a little bit about our adoption story. I guess like lots of people, we wanted to have a baby. Many times when you tell God what you want to do, it doesn't ever work out that way. We came to the point where we thought, well, we're either going to spend a lot of money on infertility or even go the adoption route. We went to an informational meeting, and after that we went to Krispy Kreme. And we decided at that moment that the adoption was the way we wanted to go.
And that was in December of 2014
Yes.
when we began the process, and we had no idea what was coming our way.
We were contacted again. A birth mother had chosen us. And on November the 29th, we drove 3 hours, met our little girl for the very first time, spent an hour with her, strapped her in a car seat. She had no idea what we were doing, drove 3 hours home into a tornado. Talk together. Speaking of the tornado, we brought home this little girl we've been waiting on for 5 years. This is Maggie Ann, and if I could go back and tell myself in the middle of the pain and the waiting and the questions and the doubt and being in a world I feel like no one understands, I would say chill out because it's all worth it. Because in the end you get Maggie. This is our story. It was rough in the beginning, it was rough in the middle, but this is an ending. And it was worth every page.
We got this, right? Okay. My name is Jaisa Montenegro, and this is Tiana. I guess learned about Outlook when I was in high school. Never in a million years did I think I would be here. So being pregnant was only gonna make it harder for me. And I remember Outlook, and I called and made an appointment. I definitely found a lot of comfort, help, and I would like to say new friends in the ladies that work there. I'm just glad I have them and I can go there anytime I need them. They have been a lot of support. Tiana loves going there. As a matter of fact, what she's wearing, she just got from there today. My mom, she lives in Colombia, so whenever she came, she would go there with me, and she got to meet everybody. She made them a note, and I'm sorry if I cried. It's in Spanish, and in translation it says, to this group of women that day by day help enforce little girls like mine. Thank you very much for helping her in this difficult time and for making this experience more easy on her. Teach her in this new chapter in her life and help provide for this new baby. God bless your work, and may He provide for you guys to continue what you're doing and all these beautiful ideas. Merry Christmas. Melba from the distance.
Okay, my name is Tara Watson. 7 years ago, I found out that I was pregnant. As soon as I found out I was pregnant, I went to the health department and I asked them for an abortion. because I didn't know what else to do. So they gave me a flyer for Full Circle, and I walk in, and they said, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a pregnancy test. And I remember the whole time I was waiting, I was praying that it was negative, because I was like, I can't do this. Before I left, the woman at Full Circle, she pulled out a box. She showed me a little baby, and she said, this is how far along your baby is. And I glanced at it, but I was like, I don't want to see this. And so I left, and I still wanted an abortion. She kept asking me, she said, are you sure this is what you want to do? And I said, this is what I want to do, like, no questions asked. And so she said, well, if anybody's going to take you, I'm going to take you. And so we get there, and they called me back, and they pricked my finger, and they did an ultrasound. And the whole time, my mom was texting me, and she said, you don't have to do this right now. We can come back in a week. You can have time to think about this. And I said, you know what, let's go home. I said, I'll schedule an abortion for a week from now. And so I did, and before I left, I got a copy of my ultrasound. So I took it home with me. And I looked at it that whole week. And so I went back the second time. And this time I was 12 weeks along. They said, you're so far along that you're going to have to take a pill before we do the abortion. Right before I'm actually about to take the pill, my mom calls me and she said, don't do anything. And so my mom comes up there, and there were 2 other girls in the room with me. And one had only been dating her boyfriend for 2 months. She didn't want to do it. And I kept her number after I left, and she still had the abortion, and we talked about it. And she told me at that moment how bad she regretted it, and that everything happened so fast. And she told me all the details of what happened. So I went home and I scheduled another abortion for the 3rd time this time. And I never went. I never went to that 3rd appointment. So I kept the baby, and I told my ex-boyfriend I wasn't going to marry him. And we ended up getting married. And I've been married to my husband for 6 years now. We have 2 kids. And I can tell you, it's not always been easy. You don't have to think your life is over, because it's not. It may take a little longer, but you can still reach your goals. The week leading up to me getting an abortion, those whole 2 weeks, you could just feel the fight, the spiritual fight going inside of me. I can just tell you that God had me under his wings. That he told me that he was going to take care of me. And he did.